Well, g'day guys, and welcome to the first ever episode of All Things Camping. Well, as most of you would know, we spend our time travelling around this country filming campsites for our online directory live2camp.com.au. Over the years we have come across some absolutely fantastic campsites, and we've decided to put together a video series to show you guys at home what we think are some of the best campsites we've come across so far. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to bring you weekly camping tips, we're going to bring you camping product reviews, and we're going to drop into a few outback country pubs that we love to go to in our travels. So in this week's first episode, we're going to head to a cracking beach campsite in northern New South Wales. Then we're going to head down to the beautiful Murray River on the Victorian New South Wales border, and then we're going to head north to the warmer and stunning Cape York. Anyway, enough talk from me. Let's get this first episode started. One of my favourite places to go camping in Australia is northern New South Wales, and there's none better than this first campground I'm going to show you, the Pebbly Beach campground in the Uruguay National Park. It is an absolutely stunning beach campground. Well, it's not often I'm lost for words, but today I have to say I am. I'm at the Pebbly Beach campground here in the Uruguay National Park, and what a campground. Well, I'm not going to waste any more time or say anything else. Let's go have a look around, come with me, and I'll show you around the campground. The Pebbly Beach campground is located in the Uruguay National Park on the northern New South Wales coast, about an hour's drive north of Coffs Harbour. One of the things I love about this campground is the journey there. And that's right, you have to do this little water crossing. Now it is tidal and it is salt water, so make sure you hit it at low tide when it is pretty easy to get across. It's a lot of fun for me, but I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. Once you're in the campground, there are some stunning sights. Some are very private, like this one, with amazing views over the beach. Check out this walk-in tent site, $1 million views. The campground stretches along the top of the sand dunes around the little bay that is Pebbly Beach. The majority of sites have a nice grass cover like this one and a fair bit of shade from the trees. There are lots of sites to choose from small walk-in tent ones to very large sites like this. Look at the size of this one. Looks like the guy's brought his whole town with him. There's plenty of room for everyone. And of course, there's plenty of sites with fantastic ocean views. Fires are allowed when it's not a fire ban day, and they do provide some firewood, but I'd probably suggest bringing your own. It's a really large campground, but fortunately the National Parks guys have put in some really large toilet blocks, like this one here. And have a look at that beautiful beach. What a fantastic spot to take the family camping. I highly recommend Pebbly Beach for your next camping trip. Well, there you go guys, Pebbly Beach campground in the Uruguay National Park. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below, and if you've got any questions, just drop me an email and I'll get back to you. As we drive across the countryside filming campsites for live2camp.com.au, we really love dropping into the local outback pub. There's a couple of reasons for this. One, I really enjoy a cold beer, and two, I love seeing the history and the makeup of the pub. These pubs really do tell a story of the area, and it's a great way of meeting the locals. So this week I'm going to take you to one of my favourite pubs, the Kandra Hotel. The Kandra Hotel is not only a quintessential outback pub, but is also one of the most remote. Located on the Warrygate Road in southwest Queensland, about 142 kilometres west of Thargomindah. The pub was first granted a licence in 1886 and was heritage listed in 1977. Of course, you can grab a nice cold beer in the classic outback bar, as well as while you're there, read up on all the history of the area. Or even better, grab yourself a great pub meal. We found ourselves having a nice cold beer in the shade of this beautiful veranda. If you're planning a trip to Cameron Corner, make sure you take the time to stop at the Kandra Hotel. I've always wanted to go camping on the banks of the Murray River, so when we headed to the Victorian High Country a couple of months ago, I made sure we got there to have a camp along its banks. And we found an absolute ripper of a campground, the Horseshoe Bend campground just outside of Cobram. Let's go have a look at it. Well, we have had an absolutely massive day driving along the Murray River between Victoria and New South Wales, filming as many of the camp spots as we could that are located on the banks of the river. You can pretty much camp wherever you like along the river, so there are lots and lots of camp spots. So we filmed pretty much the bigger camp spots, the more well-known ones that we could find along the way. And tonight we have stopped in one of those camp spots called Horseshoe Bend campsite, and I want to show you this one tonight because it's a good campsite, and it's pretty much like a lot of the other ones we filmed today, and will give you a good sign of what it's like to camp on the beautiful Murray River. Anyway, let's go have a look around the campsite. The Murray River runs along the Victoria and New South Wales border, with the Horseshoe campground located just outside of Cobram in Victoria. The road into the campground can be a little rough in spots, so if you're towing, just be a little bit careful on your way in. But once in the campground, it opens up into some large flat areas just like this one. The campground is located right on the banks of the Murray River, so there are plenty of opportunities to find a fantastic little camping spot right next to the water, just like this area is here. There's even room for you to bring your caravan, camper trailer, or if you just want to set up a tent. We found this great little spot at the end of the campsite with grass and some really nice shade and a fantastic view of the mighty Murray. There are no facilities at this campground, so you do have to be self-contained. You can have fires though, just bring your own firewood. So why not head to the Horseshoe Bend campground, pull up a camp chair and enjoy the views like this. Over the last few months, I've been fortunate enough to team up with Dave from outdoorcampingdisorder.com, a fantastic online camping store. And Dave's been very kind enough to lend me some products to take away on my trips so I can test them out for you guys at home. On our last trip to the Victorian High Country, I took with me the Burke & Wills Stockman's coat. And wow, what a great thing that was to have in the very chilly high country. Anyway, let's go have a look at it. It doesn't matter what time of year you travel through the Victorian High Country, you need to take with you some really warm clothing. Whether it's summer or winter, I can tell you it gets pretty chilly up here. Well, I've been lucky enough on this trip through the high country to be given this coat from Burke & Wills, thanks to Outdoor Camping Disorder, to wear on this trip. And I can tell you, it has kept me toasty warm and dry the whole time. I have pretty much lived on it every day I've been up here. The Burke & Wills Stockman full-length coat that I'm wearing here is the perfect oilskin coat for your next winter camping trip. It is made from 12-ounce dry-tech oilskin and has two deep front pockets as well as an inside pocket. The coat also comes with shoulder capes and a back gusset for extra protection against the elements, along with a double studded front flap and a cotton lining to keep you really warm. I can tell you guys, I highly recommend this Burke & Wills coat for not just a high country camping trip, but any camping trip that you want to stay warm and dry in. So jump on the Outdoor Camping Disorder website and order yours now. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. So want to get your hands on a Burke & Wills Stockman coat for your next camping trip? Then head over to outdoorcampingdisorder.com and order yours today from Dave. Anyway, now it's time for Tip of the Week. Here at live2camp.com.au, we certainly don't let the weather get in the way of our camping. We don't have time. So when we head off in the winter months to the colder areas, we've come up with a few little tricks that help us stay warm at night. One of those is we take a trusty water bottle. That's right, a good old-fashioned water bottle. It's nothing better than climbing into a nice warm sleeping bag at night when it's freezing cold outside. I highly recommend You grab one of these, they're only cheap at the shops, and you take one with you on your next camping trip. A couple of years ago, we were fortunate enough to do a trip up to Cape York to film the campsites up there, and we were blown away by the number of camping opportunities there were. So right now, I want to show you what was one of the campgrounds we really loved up there, the Punsand Bay campground. Well, as you know, here at Live2Camp, we're all about bush and beach campgrounds. But every so often, we come across a campground that is a bit of a blur between a caravan park and a bush campground. This was very much the case on our last trip up to Cape York, where most of the campgrounds up there were very close to being a caravan park. But the next video you're about to see is of the Punsand Bay campground. It's a campground we stayed on while we're up there, and we enjoyed it very much. So we decided to show it to you guys at home. So come along with me and I'll show you around the campground. The Punsand Bay campground is located just a few kilometres short of the most northern tip of Australia in Cape York, far north Queensland. On arrival, check in at the reception. The staff are very friendly and very helpful. The campground is located right next to the water, and if you are lucky enough to get one of these sites, you'll have amazing views. It's a very, very busy campground, so make sure you book prior to arrival to try and ensure you get one of these sites. Either where you end up, there is plenty of shade, the sites are nice and big, and I'm sure you'll be more than happy with the site that you get. There are sites for all different size, campers, tents, caravans. The campground has a mostly hard sand base with plenty of trees for shade. Even some of the larger sites have these shelters for even more shade to set up under. There are plenty of facilities spread out through the campground, and we found them to be really neat and tidy. And it even has a pool. Don't be put off by the green, it is perfectly fine to use, and we were in it every afternoon. It is a great way to cool off. But I have to say, this was probably my favourite thing of all, ice cold beer off the tap and wood-fired pizzas. What a place. We had an absolutely awesome stay at the Punsand Bay campground. Its location is beautiful, and I highly recommend it for your next trip to the tip of Cape York. Well, there you go guys, that's the Punsand Bay campground. We certainly enjoyed staying there, and I'm sure you will too. Anyway guys, that brings us to an end of our first episode of All Things Camping. I hope you really enjoyed it, but if you want to see more of these episodes, make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on one coming out in the future. Anyway guys, I'll see you out there.